Who was your first sales coach? Who taught you how to go out there and make a living doing sales? And I don't mean just that class you took. I mean, who in your life modeled some really great behavioral skills and helped you learn how to deal with people? I'm Marla Copal. I'm a sales coach, and I help everyone who works with me get into better, stronger sales conversations. I've helped people make over 50 million in revenues. So if you're a direct seller, a coach, or even a network marketer who wants to learn more about the art of the conversation instead of feeling stuck using a script, then this is where you want to come to this channel, subscribe below, so that you can learn more about building these relationships it takes to make sales. So what did my grandfather teach me? Well, a lot of things. Now, most of them were discovered upon reflection, but the stories stuck. So when I was old enough, probably 4, and until I was probably 8 and we moved away, I got to go down to the John Deere implement store where my grandfather worked, ran the business. He was the owner, and really learned about people. I got to sit on the parts counter. I got to take strolls down the main street with my grandfather when he talked to other farmers and ranchers. And here's what I learned. First of all, we just go out and, you're young enough. You just don't know. You're just having a good time with your grandpa. And he would talk to people, and then we'd leave after talking to a farmer or a rancher. And he'd say, now that man, the one that we just talked to that had the overalls on and had the holes cut out of his shoes, had the toes cut out of his shoes, he's a multiple millionaire. He's worth, and he'd rattle off a number. And I'm, 4 years old, it's fine. You don't worry about it. But the story stuck. And what he said is never think because someone dresses that way that they don't have money. Oh, okay. Now that made sense. So, okay, Grandpa. Then the second thing that I learned, in both with my grandfather and sitting on the parts counter when my mom is serving all the farmers, is I began to realize that sometimes people looked like they were having a bad day or they were being ornery. But I also noticed the ones that were being ornery or looked like they were having a bad day, but they had a twinkle in their eye. And I would watch my mother handle these people. I'd watch my grandfather handle these people, and they'd take them off their edge. It was just kind of, they were uncomfortable for some reason. So I learned from my grandfather, and my mother that you just go up to these people. So what's going on, guys? Tell me what's up today. And then they'd listen. See, some of those people were just trying to get attention. They didn't know how to do it positively, so they did it negatively. That helped me much later on when I ran into people like that too. And I'll tell you a story in a minute about how I played it off on my grandfather. And then what I learned was my grandfather believed in pulling together. They came out of the hard times from the Dust Bowl and the Depression. And he did a lot of things that helped a small town pull together. But he also translated that into sales conversations. And in those sales conversations, I'd always watch him. If he didn't have what he thought that person needed or the person was describing, he would still continue to work with them until he had a resolution, something that would solve the problem for them. Even if it was just giving a piece of baling wire out of the back shop so that they could bind something up until they got home where they already had some parts stored. So our job as salespeople is to serve people. We have to know people. So we can't serve if we're coming at them with something that is our agenda. Yes, we all want to make a sale. But if we're coming at, I've got to present this, I've got to present that, and we never learn how to interface with that other human being, then a sale is unlikely. So I've helped people make over 50 million in revenues using these sales techniques. If you'd like to know more, you just need to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell so that you're notified when I go live again. Additionally, you can get my 8 tips to win at selling. And there's so many more stories about my grandfather, but I'll save those for another time. But I think those 3 things that he taught me are really valuable, and I share them with you in all of my training classes. I look forward to meeting you soon.